Welcome, guys and gal. Week 7 of the league. It's cold. This is your commish speaking. Trying times in the league right now. Fucking Finesse are undefeated. Wise guys are winless. The Central is just as tough as ever. And the East looks fucking strong. Again, Finesse have not lost a game yet. The Titans Elite, 5-1. I mean, the tables have turned, guys. The Bunny Bangers and the Trolls, the two new teams are on the top in the Central. The Heaters and the Rune Dogs are still in the top in the East, only separated by how many points? The only reason Matt's still up top is because he's above Mandy by 14 points scored on the season. Kind of fitting, though, because the Rune Dogs have only had 22 points scored, 22 points less than Matt on scored against. So it's very, very even in the East right now. No one has a losing record. So the East is just beating each other up and dishing out wins, or I guess dishing out L's to the rest of the league. So the West and the Central have got to start stepping up against the East, the big bad bullies. But we'll see what happens this week. Some good matchups this week. Let's get into the power rankings. Coming in at number 12, who the fuck do you think? It's the Washington Wise Guys. The winless Wise Guys. Man, they can't catch a break. If I went to Tebow's team, if I went to his team, and I looked at the last 5 games, right? Week 1, he lost to the Voyagers by, I think, about 18 points. Every other week, let's see. Week 2, they lost to the Titans Elite by 1 point. Week 3, they lost to the Finesse by 6 points. 5 points, actually. Week 4, they lost to the Smeagol's by 4.5 points. Week 5, they lost to the Heaters by 7. And they both scored under 100. And last week, they lost to the Bunny Bangers by 4 points. Less than 4 points. Fucking tough up there in Washington. They can't catch a break. Close losses. When's this team going to break through to have a chance at the playoffs? They basically got to win out, like I said, but even that may not be enough. But again, they still haven't scored the least amount of points in the league. So they're still, they're not rolling over and dying. They're just not closing games out. But we'll see if they can get a win this season. Ooh. Number 11, we got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks dropping down a few spots. The reason Rico is down here is because, I mean, good Lord. This team's put up less than 700 points through 6 weeks and has only had 717 points against, which I think is the fewest in the league. No, I'm sorry. Mandy's had the fewest points scored against, but still. 2-4. Traded away some good assets, got some good assets back that may be looking to come back this week, but we don't know. We'll see if that trade that he pulled off a couple weeks ago comes to fruition, and see if this team can get back on track again. The Central's still wide open, so we'll see. Staying at number 10, we got the French Quarter Quail Men. Just because I like the rhyme, I keep them there at 10. They're above Rico. Yeah, they're 1-5, but they're still above the Tiger Sharks because they've scored more points and they've allowed way more points. They've allowed 130 more points than the Tiger Sharks have. So they've had a little bit worse luck. A lot of close games for the Quailmen as well. They're still a very, very young team, probably the youngest in the league. We'll see if they can maybe get back on track again. Central's still wide open. Coming in at number 9, we got the Wisconsin Bunny Bangers. They are second in the Central. They've scored the fewest points in the league. They've allowed a shitload of points. They're still 3-3. Very weird team. Like, they're either blowing guys out or they're getting blown out, but they just beat Tebow by, of course, less than 10 points. So they're 3-3, and who knows where this team's going to go. This team could go to the playoffs. They could be first out in the losers bracket. We'll see what happens. Coming in at number 8, dropping a few spots, got the Vietnam Voyagers. Rough start to the season, 2-4. Had the most points scored against them in the on the year with 868 points against. I think every time they've played somebody, someone scored at least 120. Fuck me, right? Coming in at number 7, dropping down, but not really losing too much. You got the Philadelphia Smeagol's. Again, they are 3-3. No, 2-4, I think, in the Central. And in the East, and they've scored the fewest amount of points in the East, but the East is so close. I mean, go ahead and look at the standings in the East. Everything is so damn close, and everybody's only a game back or tied. So the East may be more of a bloodbath than the Central will be. We'll see. But for now, the Smeagol's are here. It's a tight race in the East to see if they can come out. Coming in right up above them, number 6, you got the Columbia Dumpster Fire coming up a little bit, starting to get the wheels turning a little bit. They've actually scored more points than they've allowed this season, but they're 2-4, 3-3. Sorry, fuck me. Holy shit! Ain't got it this week, guys, but holy hell, yeah, the Hunter's 3-3. So this team's not dead yet. Dumpster Fire still got a chance to come back. Coming in at number 5, you got the Trenton Trolls. Put up the most points scored in the league so far this season. Last week, they beat out the Titans Elite by, I think, 1 point on the most points scored. This week, I think they put up 176, 177, 178, something like that. Fucking ridiculous numbers. So they're moving on up to number 5. Top team in the Central. But again, wide open. Coming in at number 4, dropping down 1 spot, you got the Hickory Grove Heaters. This team is still very, very dangerous. I mean, they've had the losses that they've had have been, pretty close. The wins they've had have been fucking dominating. So the Heaters should be able to make the playoffs this year just based on their team and talent. And again, Cooper Kupp and Kyler Murray are playing out of their fucking gourds right now. Coming in at number 3, moving on up. Can't deny it anymore, guys. You got the SC Titans Elite Joe at 5-1. 5-1 Joe. Holy hell. The Renaissance is on out there in Santa Clara. The Titans coming back. Woo! West is going to get hot here pretty soon because another team out there in the West is strong as well. But we're going to move back east for number 2. Staying at number 2. You got the current champs, the Long Island Room Dogs. 4-2. Second in the East, but again, only by a few points. But this team is just solid. Got 2 straight wins. And they just keep mowing them down. Derrick Henry keeps going. As long as Derrick Henry and Lamar Murray are running strong, this team is going to keep on winning, I think. And staying at number 1, you guys know who it is. You got undefeated Finesse. E-Man can't seem to lose. He's got another good matchup this week, but he didn't put up that many points on Thursday. Only put up 9. So we'll see if they can pull off the win against the Smeagol's, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's get into the matchups. Matchup number 1, or as Joe called it, the worst game of the week. Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, 2-4. Taking a short trip up to Columbia to play the even 3-3 Dumpster Fire, the recently surging Dumpster Fire and the recently falling Tiger Sharks. I don't know why this is the worst game of the week, but that's what Joe says, so I'm gonna keep it up here. It's gonna be a tough matchup. Right now, it says the Tiger Sharks should win by 7 points. Both teams put up middling points, you would say, disappointing points on Thursday. But we'll see who can get this dub. If the Tiger Sharks can get a win, they can again get their way back to the top of the Central maybe. If Columbia wins and the other teams in the East lose, Columbia may be at the top of the East for all we know come next week. We'll see. Matchup number 2. Got the 2-4 Vietnam Voyagers flying all the way out to Wisconsin to play the Bunny Bangers, who are 3-3 in the Central. Again, this is going to be a crazy game because Wisconsin, they're either putting up under 100 or putting up 150. They barely put up over 100 last week, but they only had to play the Wise Guys, so I guess they played down to their opponent. The Voyagers, however, have allowed the most points in the league. For whatever reason, people see the Voyagers on the schedule and they say, yeah, we got to put up 160, 170, 150. Okay, so maybe the Bunny Bangers just fucking come out and go crazy, but it's not looking like it. They don't have a defensive lineman starting. They got Bosa on bye, and they're starting 2 tight ends. One in the tight end spot, obviously, and one in the flex. One in Gronk and Tunyon. They've got no one else out there to play, but the Voyagers also have a lot of players on bye. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup to see if the backups can come and step up for their team. Matchup number 3. Got the winless Wise Guys flying on down to play the Trentham Trolls. As of now, the Wise Guys should lose by about, well, probably less than 10, right? The Trolls put up 23 on Thursday. Wise Guys only put up 10. So the game is going by the script as of now, but maybe the Wise Guys can pull out a win. They were also picked to lose this week, which is, I think, maybe a first. No, the Wise Guys have been picked to win 4 times this year. Of course, all of them have lost. So only 2 people have gotten it correct with Tebow's team. Maybe this is the 3rd, or maybe this is incorrect. Tebow's hoping for the latter of the 2. Matchup number 4. We got the Hickory Grove Heaters at 4-2, flying out to play the SC Titans Elite 5-1. Personally, I thought this was game of the week. Joe made the picks, but I guess he wanted to be Mr. Humble Joe and didn't want to make his own game of the week. That's fine. But this is a big fucking game. Titans Elite win, they stay right on E-Man's ass. The Heaters win, they may take control of the East or stay at the top like they have basically all season. This is a huge game. Both teams are capable of putting up huge amount of points, but at the same time, both are also able to put up very, very small amount of numbers. And this is bye week. They started the bye weeks, guys. So it's going to come up to backups, bench players. Who can step up? Who is the guy on your bench that can put up fucking points? Who's the guy that you haven't been starting that finally starts and keeps those points rolling? But of course, we're going to see some chokes with those players on your bench that have been just killing it on your bench, and now you start them in bye week and they fucking choke. That's how it goes in fantasy. On the rivalry game of the week, guys. Rivalry game of the week. We got the French Quarter Quailmen at 1-5, flying up to play the current champs Room Dogs at 4-2. Why is this a rivalry game? Well, Mandy and Dan, they go way back. Way back. And I mean, this should be a blowout for the Room Dogs. They're one of the toughest teams in the league. Current champs. Dan's team is young, inexperienced. You know, I mean, I'm just assuming this is going to be an ass whooping. But of course, whatever I say, the opposite happens. So we'll see what happens here, guys. But we don't really care about any of these games. We care about that 4th matchup between the Heaters and the Titans Elite. But another big game of the week. The Philadelphia Smeagol's, champs 2 years ago at 3-3, flying out to play the undefeated Finesse. And they're picked to win this week again. If Finesse starts 7-0, I don't think anyone has ever started 7-0 in this league. I think we've seen 6-0 once. But 7-0, I don't think we've ever seen it. And if this team just keeps rolling and just blowing through these out-of-conference games, especially against the East, punch the ticket for the Finesse to the playoffs. You could probably punch it now. If you were a betting man, Nate, you'd probably bet on the Finesse, probably getting that #1 seed, or at the very least, going to the playoffs, definitely as a wild card. But again, anything can happen. The Finesse could fucking lose out from here and miss the playoffs. I doubt that's going to happen, but you never know. On to the predictions. It was Joe's turn this week. He had some very Interesting thoughts. Great video, Joe. Thank you. But before we get into the picks, let's review what happened last week. Rico made the picks. He went 3-3. So again, no one's been able to pick 4 or more wins on the season in 1 week. Again, you can look at the records. We're all at 3-3 or 1-5. No one's gone 2-4. No one's gone 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0. So hopefully this is the week that someone can get over 500 with the picks. With Joe's picks, in the worst game of the week and also the upset of the week, he picked the Tiger Sharks to take down the dumpster fire. This would be a huge upset. A Central team taking down an Eastern team. And that's big because the Tiger Sharks are not putting up a lot of points. Dumpster Fire are. So this is a very, very risky pick by Joe, but I like it. Matchup number 2, he's got the Voyagers over the Bunny Bangers. A little bit of a rivalry between me and Nate. Matchup number 3, he's got the Trolls over the Wise Guys. That's a wise pick to pick someone to beat the Wise Guys since they're winless. He's got the Titans Elite, his own Titans Elite, over the Hickory Grove Heaters. Big matchup, but Joe believes in his team, so we'll see what happens there. Rivalry game of the week, he's got the Room Dogs over the Quailmen. Easy pick there. And game of the week, he's got the Finesse, staying undefeated, up against the Smeagol's. Let me check these last records. How many times has the Finesse been picked to win, and that has actually gone true? Week number 1, the Finesse were picked to win. That happened. Week number 2, the Finesse were picked to lose. That did not happen. Week number 3, the Finesse were picked to win. That happened. Week number 4, the Finesse were picked to win. That happened. Week number 5, Finesse were picked to lose to the Tiger Sharks. Nate with the crazy picks. That did not happen. Last week, Rico picked the Finesse to win over the Heaters. Big time prediction, and he got that one right. So, Finesse is 6-0. They're covering spreads. So, bet on the Finesse. Let's get into golf. Come on now. Golf. Woo! So, not much of a change. E-Man still at the top, 10 under par. I think he shot a birdie last week. Shot 2 birdies and a bogey. So E-Man up to 10 under par, Matt at 7 under. I moved up to 4 under par. Fucking TJ Watt is just shooting eagles for me. Fantastic, I love it. P-Man and Mandy tied at 4th at 3 under par. Mandy had a pretty good week. She went 1 under, so good week for Mandy. Joe and Hunter sitting at 2 under. Nate sitting at even par. Graydon had the best week last week, though. He shot 4 birdies, only 1 bogey. So he shot 3 under last week to move up. He's still over par, but only by 1. Rico sitting at 4 over. Tebow at 5 over. Tebow's not last anymore in golf. Wow. Dan, 6 over par, sitting last. Tough golf. It's still anyone's game. Everyone's separated by, 16 strokes between first and last. But top 3 is only 3 strokes, and then 3 strokes down to third. So again, we got a lot of golf to be played. A lot of shit's gonna happen. Gonna be a lot of moving parts, especially right there in the middle. But we'll see who comes out on top this week with the best golf play. But that's it, guys. That's it. I had to put this up here. Congrats to the Braves for making it to the World Series for the first time since 1999. Hopefully they beat the cheating Astros. I can't think of anybody who's actually rooting for the Astros in this except for maybe Astro fans. So hopefully the Braves can get this dub. And that's it. Otherwise, guys, good luck. Otherwise, guys, get it? And otherwise, good luck this week and chop on.